Hi and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to continue our talk about Top2Vec, a very powerful library in Python that lets us do topic modeling in really just a few lines of code. This series is about making a Top2Vec model that is both good, domain specific, and it's all about learning how to adjust the parameters to your use case. In the last video we looked at the different ways that you could adjust the speed, and we saw about fast learn, learn, and deep learn. We talked a little bit about workers. Now what these do is they optimize your workflow and are really used if you are working for something that is going to be testing based or production based. In this video we're kind of taking a different angle. We're going to be looking at the things that you want to adjust depending on the corpus that you're working with. We're going to specifically look at the min count parameter, which is going to be an integer. And we're going to look at the ngram vocab parameter, which is going to be a boolean as true or false. In this video, we're going to talk about why you want to use each of these, when you want to use them, the advantages and disadvantages of the Top2Vec library when it comes to these two parameters. So let's now jump on over to Jupyter Lab and dive in. Okay, now that we're in Jupyter Lab, let's go ahead and start taking a look at our data. Once again, we are going to be working with the same pandas data frame, the volume 7 data from the TRC. We're going to be converting everything into a docs, and we're going to be cleaning it up. Now, I went through all of these steps in the first video in the series, where we started exploring kind of some of the main parameters, such as the ability to calculate specifically how quick your model learns, and how many workers you want to assign to it. In this video, let's go ahead and print off our doc string once again for Top2Vec. In this video, we're going to be focusing on two parameters, mainly the min count, which is going to be the minimum number of words that times a word has to appear in your entire corpus before being considered a word that is important. Now the default here, like I said in the last video, is 50. We're going to play around with this and see how this impacts our model. And the other thing that we're going to play around with is the generation of bigrams. We can achieve this in Top2Vec by using the ngram vocab. Both of these features, these parameters, are very important for constructing a model that does precisely what you need and is tailored to the data that you have. You'll find that these two parameters are probably the ones that you're going to use the most because they are the most domain dependent or problem dependent, and they allow for you to have a model that represents kind of more or less what you want to achieve at the end than any other parameter. I'm going to comment that out for now. So we know that we're working with min count. Let's go ahead and do that first. So we're going to create our model. We're going to call this model min, let's call it min 50, which is going to be the actual default one. So we're going to pass this in and we're going to say Top2Vec, and we're going to pass in our documents. The next thing that we're going to pass in is the speed. As you learned from the last video, there's 3 different speed parameters. We're going to say fast learn because we're not caring about accuracy right now. We're caring about just kind of rapidly getting some results. And the rate at which your model learns is completely independent of the amount of words that you can extract and the bigrams that you can extract, because all of these processes are handled by Gensim. Now we're going to see the strengths and the weaknesses of that in this video towards the end. But let's go ahead and just specify min count right now, and we're going to specify 50, which again is the default. I'm going to execute this cell, and we're going to pop back once it's done in just a few seconds. Okay, now that we're done, we can go ahead and kind of start to analyze this model and see kind of what the impact was. Now, the main impact that you're going to see in the min count is going to be with regards to the vocab. You're going to see with the min count vocab, we have around 2,700, but let's take a quick look. So the way we can find the vocab is we can access the model min 50.vocab. And this will give us the vocabulary. Now I'm going to just limit this to the top 10 so you can see, and we're able to see it outputted right here in the, was, and, on, etc. on down the list. So if we want to know how large a vocabulary is, we can wrap this around the length. And we see that we actually have, it helps if you do the entire vocabulary, we see that we have a vocabulary length of 915. So this is kind of interesting. Now what can we do with that vocabulary? Well, we can do a lot. These are going to be the main features of each document that get essentially vectorized. And this is going to be how you can kind of go into your Top2Vec model and find documents of relevant importance. So let's say that we want to alter this a little bit. We want to have the min count be equal to something a little lower. Maybe we have very few corpora and we don't have a frequency of each word enough to reach the 50 threshold. Well, in these situations, what I would do is I would drop the min count down to some random lower number. I oftentimes start with 10 and then calculate up or down based on the results that I actually see. So let's go ahead and train a new model on this exact same process. I'm going to execute that, and once again, we'll pop back when it's done. And now that it's done, we can actually go ahead and do the exact same thing we did up here, down here, and analyze the length of our vocabulary. And as you can tell, it's actually increased significantly. We now have 2,350. Why does this increase happen? Well, it's purely because our min count was dropped. So the threshold for how many times a word must appear for it to be calculated into the vocabulary and therefore into the vectorization is much lower. That threshold is much lower. Now, this is going to be really kind of case dependent. There is no one right answer. The default is at 50. From my experience, 50 works quite well for most off-the-shelf problems, but do play around with this min count and adjust it up and down based on your needs. If you really are working with smaller corpora, go with a lower min count. If you have a massive corpora, you're going to have a lot of words appearing very frequently. You might want to up that min count. Again, this is going to be really dependent upon the problem and the corpus that you're working with at hand. Now, we do have another fun parameter that we can pass through, and that's our n-gram vocab. So let's go ahead and let's just copy and paste this one down here. We're going to stick with a min count of 10. Actually, I'm going to up this to, let's up this to 25. And then I'm going to pass in one more parameter. I'm going to specify n-gram here in the name. We're going to pass in n-gram vocab. And this is going to be equal to a Boolean. I'm going to say true. By default, it is false. By setting this to true, we can go ahead and generate what are called bigrams, or words that are words that collectively have a distinct meaning. Now, I'm going to talk about trigrams in just a second. With this, you're only going to get bigrams. You will never get trigrams with this ever. So let me pause the video here after we start training, and then we'll pop back when it's done and analyze our vocabulary once again. Okay, let's take a look at our vocabulary once again. I'm going to copy and paste this down and simply replace our model with our 25 n-gram model. And we see that we have a vocabulary length of 3,126. Now, why has this happened? We've actually gone up in the frequency, and yet our vocabulary has also increased. And the reason for this is because the introduction of n-gram vocabulary. So what does this mean? Well, it means now our feature representations will include bigrams as being a single token. So let's go through and see what this looks like. So we're going to say for word in I don't want to copy it. There we go. Vocab. And we're going to iterate down each word. So what we're going to say is if the length of word dot split, so when we split a word at a white space, if its length is equal to 2, we know it's a bigram. So we're going to say bigrams dot append a word. And this is going to be how we get a list of our bigrams that we can kind of look at. I'm going to make this outside of the list. And again, you can use list comprehension to do this. I'm being more verbose here on purpose so that we can go through and analyze them. The length of word.split, I need to wrap length around that. There we go. And now we got a list of bigrams. Let's take a look at the first 10. And we go down the list and we see these look like really decent bigrams to me, decent phrases. I'm seeing ANCYL member. This is a particular member, part of a particular organization. This is where we start to see some of the problems. Free state. Now, what is free state here? Well, chances are it's actually part of a larger trigram, which is Orange Free State, or OFS. We saw this in the last video. So this is a huge problem for me, because at this stage, I have the ability to tokenize my texts at both the unigram and bigram level, and while that's useful, I have a limitation here. I cannot tokenize my text at the trigram level, and I know for a fact that my texts have trigrams like Orange Free State. So this is one of the limitations of using Top2Vec off the shelf, one of the few. Now, is this a deal breaker? Absolutely not. We have some hacky ways to get around this. One of the things that you can do is you go into the Top2Vec actual code, and you can go through and iterate over the phrases module twice. This is how you get trigrams through Jensen's phrases. That's a little hacky way to do it. It'll be unclean. You'll probably have a lot of trial and error to get that up and working. I haven't done that just yet. The other option, and we'll talk about this in a later video probably, is to insert your own custom tokenizer in the Top2Vec workflow, so that when you tokenize the text, it's going to be based on the parameters that you actually have, and at this stage you can get the trigrams recognized as an individual token, and the bigrams recognized as an individual token, etc. on down the list. And you can also customize this by introducing your own complex rules. But for right now, this is how you get bigrams and some of the limitations of the n-gram vocab. I hope in the future Top2Vec adds the ability natively to just get trigrams as well, but as of right now, in July of 2022, that is not supported. Nevertheless, hopefully this gives you a good sense of both the min count and the n-gram vocab parameters that you can pass to Top2Vec, when you can use them, why you should use them, and some of the limitations. As always, I keep all the content on this channel free. Thank you so much to all of my Patreon supporters. If you get a lot out of this channel, please do consider supporting it via Patreon or via the YouTube memberships down below. All of the money I make on this channel goes back into it. Thank you.